follow along.
Hello.
Hey.
Were you talking to me, or I couldn't? It turns the mics off. I couldn't hear you till the
No,
countdown
sorry, I
ended.
was talking to you, but either way, we're
Okay.
good.
Yeah, cool. What's up, everyone? It's me and Rob, me, Jason, and Rob, and Chuck might join us later. He's gonna join us, but he's running late, so
We'll
not sure
just
why.
see, right?
Yeah, we'll see if he decides we're good enough for him. But yeah, if everyone knows, my name's Jason. I'm working on my comic, The Punish comic. I'm an animator at Blizzard currently, and I do previs and animation, and I still got to do comics though. And Rob's his the masterful Master Zen series he has finished up and is now working on his homage to Rob Liefeld. Have you picked a name for this yet?
No, I'm still kind of debating back and forth, and I've kind of learned like there's no rush to come up with the titles. I've
Yeah,
got
not at
time,
all.
so I'm just gonna let it mull over, and eventually I'll come up with something that I'm like, okay, it's this.
Yeah. Oh, I have to close this before I share my screen. I have to close the Batman picture.
You don't want that,
We were looking at some risque Batman art earlier. And
right?
was
Oh,
it
by
Batman
the way,
Damned? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I got your the copies of those books in the mail today. That was one of the errands I was running today, so
Oh, cool.
those books should show up.
Yes, I can't wait to do record a video about him and just a scathing video
Do
tearing
it.
him
I
apart.
need somebody to.
This guy makes fun of Rob Liefeld all the time. Well, let's see what Rob
Seriously,
Norton thinks
what
when we
the hell
talk
can
about
he
his
do? And then you're
book.
like, what the crap? This guy. No, for real.
Mhm.
There in the first three issues. I mean, it does say, but some people kind of didn't pick up on it. Like in the first three issues, my younger brother, he helped me draw chunks of it. In case you're looking at it, going, did the art just change suddenly?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember
Like
you
the
kind of went through the whole first two books of it the other day too, showing me all
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff. But there's a lot of surprises I didn't see too that got me excited because it has freaking Voltron in it, and
yeah.
who else? Was it Thunder? Was it Thundercats
Thundercats.
or?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome, man. Fucking grew up on that shit. I think if I ever did a fan comic based on an animated series, kind of like your Master's End, I might want to do it on Mask. Did you ever watch Mask?
I some of it. It was never a big deal, but that's funny because I've had a lot of people say, "Dude, you should do a mask one next." I'm like, I don't have anything to say about it. I was aware of it. I saw some of it. It was never one of the big ones. I included everything um, that I loved into the one that I did. It was those four shows. So,
Yeah.
but
If you're
a
not
lot of people
obsessed with
mention
it
it.
like I was, it wouldn't be worth it. But yeah, I love it. It's one of the greatest themes of all, like theme songs of all time.
Right.
Mass Crusaders working overtime, fighting crime
Oh
every
yeah,
time.
absolutely.
It might
I,
be debatable. Like that and Thundercats are definitely my two favorite intros ever.
yeah. I I kind of thought about some other shows that I liked that I kind of thought about wanting to include there. Is I was also a big fan of Brave Star,
Oh yeah, Brave Star was cool. Forgot
and
about that
then
one.
I didn't watch a lot of, and I wasn't exactly a huge fan of GI Joe, but you can't deny the '80s relevance of GI Joe, and so I thought about, well, can I include them in this somehow? But the whole point of the comic is that Skeletor went traveling the multiverses, I guess. I hate using that word because it's kind of been tainted.
Yeah.
But um, looking for the most powerful weapons he could find. What is G.I. Joe going to have? Like some jets and tanks? Like, do you
Well,
know what I
they
mean?
that's probably why they merged them with the Transformers now. They're in the same
Yeah.
universe now.
So it's like, yeah, he found Voltron. He found the weapons of the Thundercats. He found stuff from the Transformers. What is he going to find in the G.I. Joe world? So I thought about having like a scene of like a bunch of GI Joe characters just dead to show that he went there, looked, found nothing, and then just killed them all. But I'm like, I don't have time for that. I
Yeah.
gotta move on.
They definitely would get their ass kicked by him. Dude,
And
that bottom panel. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, the problem with that whole Masters End thing is that I kept coming up with more ideas.
Yeah. It could just keep going forever.
I could have. There was things where I was like, I was going to have She-Ra get kidnapped by the Quintesson, so He-Man has to jump in the Voltron robot and learn to fly it and take off into space to go track them down. I'm like, oh my god, that's another 6 volumes. Stop,
Yeah, I
eject
guess
this
that's
idea.
I think that's part of it too. Like you just have to let that stuff go and finish it, instead of just
Yeah,
sitting
I
it there
had like
forever and
the
ever.
core idea of what I wanted, and just focus on that. Just get that done, and then something else. So
Yeah.
anyway,
That bottom panel is a trip because it looks exactly like a panel in my latest page I was roughing out. It's kind of different, but the angle is similar. Like I had, oh here, let me put mine up real quick. It's kind of hard to tell, um, but like I have this. It's from inside the car with my dude who's being chased, and he's up here with his hand on you know, the stick shift, and he's like, oh no, he's like sitting up in the car and steering. But then he pushes the gear forward and hits the brakes and I mean hits the gas and the speeds up the car and then it cuts to this reverse angle of the guy coming out of the car. I don't know if you can tell from my scribbles, but like
I could kind of translate it. I can see it.
yeah, his car like speeds off here and this dude's pulling out his bazooka here, getting ready to shoot him. But that angle of your guy it reminds me of like this bottom panel of him sitting out the top of the roof of the truck.
That's
So
awesome, man.
can I steal it from you? Just send me a
Absolutely,
photo.
please do.
That's I mean, other than where he's pointing the gun, it's like almost the exact same shot for the character. Great. I finished the first page of it earlier today. Um, actually here.
Oh yeah, huh? Page 1 done
So,
and done.
yeah. Took forever. But yeah, each one will get a little faster. I'm kind of just figuring stuff out too. Oh, hey, there's Chuck. There he is. Chuck.
How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yo.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Ooh, nice. There you go. I was just about to show. Is that Brett Booth?
Yeah, yeah. I got a
Firestar.
few. I got a few blanks out for this.
There you go. You're full screen. That's gonna be cool. Firestar is like he was always written kind of lame, but I think his design is cool. And he was in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, I remember, and he was cool.
No. This is Firestorm from
Oh, it's
DC.
Firestorm. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Big distinction there, man.
Yeah. Well, just another derivative between the two companies,
Yeah, something like that. Firestar was a chick.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I guess I'm
like
just remembering wrong.
yeah, that was the cartoon, man. They had Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. He had Firestar and Iceman.
Yeah.
It was a girl. That's right. That's right. Well, Firestorm's cool too. I like his flaming head.
Well, yeah. Yeah, Firestorm's actually an older character, and then he's got one of the darkness here that I was thinking about looking at.
Ooh,
The
that
Juggernaut's
cool.
A Batman.
When did he post that Juggernaut? I kind of want to grab that one.
I don't know. When I joined this Patreon, the first thing I did is went through and scavenged every piece of pencil I could find.
Yeah, I need to do that before because I can, I can't subscribe to it forever. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, man. He's so good.
Yeah,
he does put up new stuff every month, and the way I look at it is, I think it's like $3 or $5. I forget which, but I'm like, okay, I would probably buy a comic by Brett Booth for that much money per month. And I'm getting to look at all this exclusive pencil stuff. I suppose at some point I will shut it off just because I'll have downloaded most of it. And, but while he keeps feeding me fresh stuff to ink for demos, why not?
Yeah.
It's cheap. So, yeah, I was looking at this Juggernaut too. I think I'm going to mess with that.
Yeah. That's so cool. That big old tricep, man. It's awesome. Such a cool arm. Cool. I was just about to show Rob real quick. I finished the first page of Punish here, so ready to go. Oops, This thing always freaks out. There we go. But yeah, got the whole sound effects and everything in there now. Downtown LA. Got the chase going through the city. Downtown
Cool.
LA. Then dude shooting out. Sound effects are fun, man. I want tons of sound effects everywhere. So
I like
yeah.
sound effects too if they're done a certain way. Like I really enjoyed. I really like the way that they were dealt with in the old Thor stuff by
Yeah.
Walt Simonson.
Yeah, his stuff was always graphic and matched that stuff. really nicely.
John Workman used to be editor of Heavy Metal magazine in the 80s, back when heavy metal was cool.
I hope it's gonna be cool again. I funded that relaunch. I saw a couple pages from it, and it looks pretty cool.
I
We'll
reserve
see.
judgment because they really fucked it up pretty bad on the way out. So like until I see something that looks like 80s heavy metal, man, I'm like, yeah, Quiet Riot is on tour right now at small venues and stuff like that, and they have no original band members left in the band.
Oh, really? Why would you even go then? There's no point. Just
Well,
listen to-
because there's money to be made. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, why would you go though?
Oh, I don't know. Well, they're playing all the hits, and some of those guys that are in the band now, most of those guys that are in the band now were in the band during the heyday.
Yeah.
Like the guitarist was there. He replaced Randy Rhoads, and he was the one that did all the big hits, Come On, Feel the Noise, and all that stuff. And Rudy Sarzo, the bassist, although he wasn't the original bassist, he did all that stuff everybody's familiar with too.
I didn't realize Randy Rhoads was in Quiet Riot. I was never a big Quiet Riot fan. There was a couple songs and I was very familiar with them.
Yeah, that was Randy Rhoads. That was Randy Rhoads' band. There's like 2 albums that were released in Japan that have a very... Oh man, you'd have to check them out. You'd have to check them out. It's a really weird sound, that old stuff. It's like a Slade
Was this during or after Ozzy?
It's before Ozzy.
Okay.
Randy Rhoads went from Quiet Riot to touring with Ozzy, and then after that he got in the plane crash, and because he knew Rudy Sarzo from Quiet Riot too, he brought him over into Ozzy's band for a little bit. And then I guess Ozzy and Rudy had a falling out. Somebody punched somebody in the eye and gave him a black eye for their wedding. And yeah, it was... Anyway. But yeah, that was Randy Rhoads' first band, I guess. And then he got famous with Ozzy. And then Kevin Dubrow, the singer, he died from cancer several years back, I guess. And they got somebody else new to sing. So yeah, there's no original members of the band, but they're on tour.
Totally different genre, but I went and saw Kraftwerk over this last summer for the first time. And it was at the Walt Disney Concert Hall where they usually have like orchestras and stuff. And the sound was... It's a trip because the place is built. It doesn't have speakers around the auditorium. It just has like... The acoustics are set up to be perfectly leveled. And so they just played in the center and you listen, and it was like the best sounding concert I ever heard. But
Really?
there's 3 people in Kraftwerk, but there's only 1 remaining member, I think, from the original. So, hi, Genuine Comics too. Sorry, I didn't have the comments up earlier. I didn't see, but that's he just said hi. Anyway, so cool. So how's your day going, Chuck? Ready to kill it? Do a good 6-hour stream here?
I don't know if I'd be up for 6 hours.
No, I'm just kidding. I was telling Rob, I have a couple weeks off for Christmas break coming up, and I'm just gonna do like a 48-hour drawing stream subathon. But not really. I couldn't handle that. My brain would pop.
Right.
It might be cool. Like set the world record for longest continuous stream.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not even close. There's people that have been doing it on Twitch doing subathons where they go for like, there's one guy I follow, Nathan Barnett. He did a month straight one time.
Oh yeah.
So there's one guy who he was on Twitch for a while and got kicked off. I can't remember his name now, but he did over a year straight where he just had it filming, play games
Crazy.
all day, smoke bongs on stream, then he'd sleep in the room on camera and stuff.
Seriously.
Yeah, that guy Nathan was doing that too. He would just sleep on stream and stuff, and then get up, and when he would he'd go on errands to like go shopping or walk his dog, and he'd just bring it on his mobile, on his phone and stuff.
So it's
Oh,
not so
someone
much a
saying,
stream as it is like an adult nanny cam.
Kind of, it does become that, yeah. Let's see, so your Emily CC on Twitch has been going for 3 years live, constant. Oh my gosh,
That's insane.
yeah,
That's too much.
yeah.
Like, I need a little privacy.
Yeah. But, you know, some of those people can make a lot of money too. There's shoot, what's her name? Let me think for a sec. There's this one girl on Twitch, something mouse. Crap, if anyone in chat remembers her name. It's not Danger Mouse, it's something mouse. She's like this little Asian, it's like an Asian VTuber character. And she did a subathon for like 6 weeks, and I can't remember how many subscribers she got, but she made, I think, like $2 million in like 6 weeks.
Crazy.
What
So,
the fuck?
I know, it's ridiculous. What's up, Alpha Channel?
Yeah. But of course, you have to be a chick to do that, I'm sure.
Yeah. I was
I mean,
gonna
it
say, like,
depends.
did she take the stream into the shower with her or something? 'Cause-
No, she's a VTuber, so she's never. No one's ever seen what she looks like. It's a little animated character when she talks.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So she could be
There's
this. She could be this very body positive woman. For all you know.
Well, from what I understand, she has actually some sort of illness that like is like a debilitating illness. So she actually can't be real physical. So she kind of just hangs out at home all the time, and that's why she started streaming and she got really popular. But there's also this other guy who Asmongold. He streams
Yeah.
like World of Warcraft and stuff, and that dude will have like 17 to 25,000 people every time he streams watching and subbing and stuff. So that dude's making tons of money too. Like
I watch his
100,000.
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I don't really mess with Twitch.
Yeah, it's just I think his YouTube is just streamed from his Twitch, because that's kind of his main resource.
Well, you know, it's like a video game thing. I don't play video games, so
Yeah. I'm not really a big fan of him. I think the guy's kind of an incredible douchebag, but he streams the games that I work for Blizzard that I work on. So
right.
I'm kind of curious what he has to say sometimes, and he was entertaining at one time. He was streaming the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial with commentary live, and I didn't care about it at all until I saw him streaming it, and I ended up watching like a majority of the trial on his channel. It was pretty entertaining.
That's funny, dude.
Wow.
Back on you, Rob.
Yeah. I don't know. Going from nice Brett Booth pencils to my scribbles here even makes me want to unsubscribe.
You're the
Yeah,
one with all the
no.
viewers, though. I don't have anybody.
Yeah.
I'm glomming onto you so I can get viewers, basically.
Hey, please do. Do it.
Hey, my subscriber count went up like 150 people or something like in the last year.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
I
cool.
barely do anything, you know.
Yeah. Well, do that for me too, then, Rob, because I'm just starting out with the streaming, so I need people.
Hey, I'm happy to. I'll be a whore. You can use me.
Yeah.
Use me for clicks.
Right.
Yeah.
Use me for clicks.
Zero's like, Twitch is not a bad place for art these days. That's true. There's a lot of artists I see streaming on Twitch these days. They just kind of, they won't even talk a lot of the time. They just draw on there. I remember hearing that Terry Moore and other guys would hand out on the would hang out on the phone while drawing. Yeah, I've never seen Terry Moore doing that. I remember early in the pandemic, even Jim Lee was doing it on Twitch. He was doing like 8 to 10 hour streams where he'd just work through the night and do an entire page from start to finish. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Dude, Jim is so used to drawing though that he doesn't give a crap if anybody's around, anybody's watching. Dude, you could have 300 people there looking over his shoulder or looking at what he's doing up on a monitor, and he's just fine. He's used to it. He's over it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so easy, like second nature too.
Well,
Yep.
his art, I mean, he could scribble anything and then hand it to anybody, and it could be sold for thousands of dollars. He's literally drawing cash.
Oh
So
yeah, totally.
just like anything he throws down, and it's crazy because especially his original artwork, what people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that aside, I think he's still got the chops, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what his new series he's doing. He's doing a new Batman series again.
Oh, isn't it a sequel to the Hush?
Yeah. Hope it's good.
I'm not super. I don't know.
I just don't care about the DC stuff, honestly. I want him to go back to Marvel, do some X-Men.
That's me too. Yes.
That's what everybody wants.
Yeah. Right.
Well, dude, that move that he did like over the summer when he was like talking to Marvel again for a minute. What do you think that's for? He knows that everybody's chomping at the bit for that, okay? And Marvel knows that everybody's chomping at the bit for that. So the moment that it looked like he was going to make a move, DC's like, "Hey, you want to raise?"
Yeah, they must have given him a ton of money. Just real quick, a couple of people are asking who everybody's talking to, just to run over it again. So Chuck Gibson is here, inker extraordinaire from Image, Wildstorm, DC. Did you ever do Marvel stuff? I forget. Did you ever work on that Captain America?
So yeah, I did, but I'm credited as like Wildstorm Studios because it was like an all-in sort of thing.
Yeah, okay.
All hands on deck.
Yeah.
So I got 2 or 3 pages, and somebody else got 2 or 3 pages, and somebody else got 2 or 3 pages, and all got put together. But it was like I want to say it was Captain America number 11.
Yeah, I remember those pages coming through though when I was hanging out with you. There,
I got to ink Ed Bennis.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So yeah, there was some Ed Bennis pages. He did this really cool cosmic, like a John Byrne Fantastic Four looking space scene with the Silver Surfer in it. That was in some of these pages. There's Fantastic Four members and stuff, and he put these effects down in pencil, and it's like at that point, man, I'd never had to ink any of these, and these are like stock effects that you would expect to see in space scenes in Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
you know, but I had never actually done these kinds of scenes before, so I was just thrilled with the chance to do that. His pencils were great.
That's cool. They were probably super tight, I imagine.
They were really, really nice.
Yeah.
Really, really super nice pencils. I thought that he gave you some room. They were looser than what he does now, I think, a little bit. I see stuff on Instagram, and I'm like, geez, dude, that's like really no room for interpretation.
Do you have Xeroxes of those old pages around still?
I think, yeah, I got some of them.
You should pull those out. Those would be interesting to chat about sometime.
One of these days, I will bust out the Rubbermaid tub, and I will have it sitting here next to me during one of these streams.
Yeah.
And
Join me for the 48-hour stream, and we'll go through the entire tub. No,
there you go. It's like one of those 2-foot tall fucking Rubbermaid tubs too. I mean, it's huge.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So
it
weighs a ton.
It'll bring nostalgia too, because I used to sit in your office and look at that stuff. Yeah. For people that are wondering too, my name is Jason Hall. I know Chuck because I used to be his assistant inker. I don't even want to say how many years ago, but back when he was around the time when Wildstorm was joining DC too, around those years. And I work for Blizzard. I'm an animator in the game and film industry, and I've done storyboarding as well and character design and all that stuff. But I still have the comics bug, and I really want to do a comic before I die. So I'm working on my comic, my revenge vigilante comic called Punish, and just finished page 1, going into page 2. And yeah, I'm just trying to stream most of that live as I work on it. And then we've got Mr. Rob Norton, who I met through Chuck, and Chuck's been collaborating with too on his series. He did the epic fan series Master's End, which is a Masters of the Universe fan series that is like quite a thing to behold. I highly recommend it. I have some of the earlier issues on the way in the mail. I'm excited because it's got Transformers and Thundercats in earlier issues too. I can't wait.
Yep, it's got it all.
Let's see. Jim Lee has major confidence in drawing history. Yeah, for sure. How old is Jeff Loeb now? Half the channel's asking. I don't know. He's got to be up there. I mean, Jim Lee's like 60 now, isn't he?
Something like that.
Yeah. So I'd imagine Jeff's probably around the same. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And all those years ago, you were what, Jason, like 5, 6 years old? When you
Yeah. I'm only like 32 now. So.
Right. I exploited him. It was like child labor, like a sweatshop.
Yep. Pretty much. I did work for free, so you kind of were exploiting me. You paid me with flour. Let's just say that. If anyone knows what I mean.
I have no idea what you mean, you know?
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to talk about that a little bit because I still talk about you to this day as the you taught me more than just inking then. You were
I was a really bad influence.
No. I mean, it was actually perfect, especially in Colorado, because this was the days before cannabis was legal in Colorado, and the only weed you could get there was this really crappy, seedy Mexican weed, and it was really weak. But one of the things Chuck taught me was I used to call you to friends that you were the weed conservation king, because you had all these methods to like, get more out of the weed you have and to make it stronger, such as like evaporating the bong water and like the chamber pipe that would like crust up the bud and then you'd smoke it with all the resin on it. It was awesome. But it was such valuable advice, man.
I was the king of the bang for the buck, that's for sure, man.
Someone said, I know Rob and Chuck's socials. Where can you find Jason? You can either follow Punish Comic on Instagram or follow gingerbear_house, which is the same name as my channel here. Just to find me. So, but yeah, those were some fun late nights though. Like I used to just hang out with Chuck and we'd kind of pull all-nighters because I would come over after work on a Friday and you would kind of be dealing with the family stuff all day too, and you didn't really have time to focus until late at night. So I'd kind of come then and everybody'd be basically asleep, and we'd have to kind of be quiet in the room there, just hanging out, listening to tunes and inking.
So, sounds like a great time.
It was super fun, man. I had a great time.
Well,
definitely.
And I look at your stuff now and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's like looking at a ghost, because there's like so many things that I look at in your stuff, like that is exactly how I used to ink, like in '96.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's right. Because I mean, you're basically my only inking influence. I mean, I look at other people's stuff, but I mean, I learned just from hours and hours of doing the practice based on stuff you were having me do, and practice and learn. So I don't think I'll ever be able to break that.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean
No, it's good. I love it. I mean, some of the 90s stuff has fallen out of fashion, but there's a lot about it that is a lot of excitement and really good, just kind of subtle stuff to it that makes stuff look cool. That I think is.
I want to see that 90s stuff come back. If I want to have that look.
Yeah,
dude, have you guys been seeing what Kari Andrews has been doing on Instagram?
I saw that Spider-Man one he did where it's the most contorted figure I've ever seen.
Man, I love it. He's just absolutely nailing the shit out of that style. It's like parts of it look like Todd, and then other parts of it look like Rob Liefeld, and then other parts look like Jim Lee. Just like, holy shit, he's blending it all.
Yeah.
I love that guy's stuff. He's awesome.
That's Kaare, like Kaare, right?
He used to do videos and he said it was Kari like Atari. that's how I learned to pronounce it. Because before then, I was just like, oh, I don't know. But yeah, that's how you did it. So I'm like, all right, sounds good to me.
Hey Chuck, what's your YouTube channel? So people are asking that too.
Oh,
I just went to YouTube straight. I thought it would bring it up because I subscribed and it brought up some weird insurance guy.
that's me.
Yeah. No, I know what you look like, and you don't look like this guy.
No, I am at Chuck Gibson 3973. He's my YouTube channel.
3973?
Yes,
Okay,
it
cool.
is.
I'll post it in the
My
chat for everyone here.
one of my buddies on my channel, he shared it to my chat.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, he just did someone saying, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I didn't know if that was showing up everywhere.
All right, let me get back over here to. Oh, cool. Yeah, all right. And there's the chat. I see. I'm still getting the hang of this too. I'm all sliding off to the side to click stuff. I'm sorry. I'll get back to inking. People aren't here to see me. You know.
No way, dude. I love hearing
I
about the
I am.
reminiscing. So yeah, here's Chuck's on the page there for people. So there's 3,972 other Chuck Gibsons on YouTube.
Holy shit.
I wonder if
Well,
that's true. No, it's probably just picks a random 4-digit number. I can't imagine it actually is in order, like starting at 1. That would be crazy. Yeah, I think speaking of the 90s look though, I think it's gonna make a comeback too. Because I mean, everything's so boring now. Like just the way stuff's laid out, and the composition of pages overall, and like I think part of that's because of the editors at the big companies, but everyone's doing their own thing now, Kickstarters and all this crowdfunding, so they can just do whatever they want, and they can just start doing that again, and it's just gonna get popular because people
I
want
think
it.
so.
Yeah,
It shouldn't have left.
no. I mean, I
Yeah.
think it got a little out of control and it just like brought on a lot of shitty stuff, but it's almost like it kind of diluted the waters too much after a while, but now
Yeah.
it's been a while now, I could make a big comeback. And I mean, there's some stuff like, the over cross hatching and all those like kind of weird style gimmicky things, but the most powerful part was just the power of covers and the pages, and how you chose panels and stuff that really made it pop and exciting to look at.
Yeah, agreed. We were talking like, they said that you were saying that Jim Lee was flirting with the idea of going back to Marvel and, to make DC pucker. I keep like, do you want to have the biggest sales that you've had since the 90s? Find some way to put Jim Lee back on X-Men for a minute, or have Todd McFarlane somehow agree to do a Spawn. I think the only thing he'd ever do would be a Spawn Spider-Man crossover at best. He wouldn't ever do, he's not going to go work for the competition, which I respect. But like,
Yeah.
I think if they were to somehow to get those guys to, somehow make that happen, people would lose their minds and just because I know I would, to see McFarlane draw Spider-Man again. I would be like, thank you. Like, you guys are still alive. Give the fans what they want.
Just have him pencil anything himself too, like
yeah.
to do. But God, I mean, it would definitely have to be with Spawn. But I'm so tired of Spawn. Can't he just do something without Spawn for once?
I know, right? Well, he tried. He did that other character. I called him Finger Jizz, Haunt.
Oh yeah. But did he draw that though? Greg Capullo drew that one.
It was Ryan Otley with Greg Capullo layouts.
Yeah. And Otley was doing Invincible and that book at the same time. He was a trooper on that one.
Yeah, I love Otley's layouts too.
Yeah, I've met him. He's a really cool guy. He lives here in Utah where I'm at, and so I've got to run into him a couple times. And nice guy, really talented. And
yeah, I'd love to him and Daniel Warren Johnson. I would love to hang out with. They seem like fun dudes. Someone said, I'm going to complain for a sec. Zero said this, but for me, it's camera angles. Modern comics can seem to be watching a sitcom. They totally are. I think I might have ranted this a couple weeks ago when we did it, but have you guys heard of the new Ultimate Spider-Man series that came out?
I've heard of it. I heard people say issue 1 was really good, but I haven't heard any more about it.
Dude, it's trash.
Oh,
actually,
really?
Well, okay, here, I'm going to show you something here. Actually, I'm going to steal the camera and go to my the comic here. I have it. I bought the first collected trade. I was excited about it because I was in the comic shop and the guy was kind of selling me on it. It's Ultimate Spider-Man. It's a reboot, and it's kind of Spider-Man when he's older, like in his late in or mid 30s, I guess is his exact age. And he doesn't, and he's married to Mary Jane, and he has two kids. And Ben Parker and J. Jonah Jameson both run the. Is it the Daily Bugle? Is that the Marvel one?
Yeah, the Bugle, not the
newspaper?
Planet.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Bugle.
And they're kind of running it together, and so I thought it'd be. And what's his name? Harry Osborn is kind of like his buddy in it, you know. And but he basically gets his Spider-Man powers then, and it's given to him. I think, if I remember correctly, it was given to him by like Tony Stark somehow. But it's like, if you want this, accept it, and you'll become this person. And then he did it, and then he kind of everyone finds out he's Spider-Man and his family right away. But nothing really happens in the book. Like, I read the whole first trade. Okay, so here I'm gonna steal this here real quick. Let's see. Hopefully you can all see this. All right. So, okay. Let me turn the lights down. It's hard to see. There we go. All right. So, hang on. It's still hard to see. Let me just dim it a bit more here. All right. So this is the first trade. And I got it. And I read the whole thing, but dude, it is so freaking boring. I mean, you can kind of see here what they're talking about. All these layouts are just pretty boring. You know, there's not much going on. The art actually is really good. This is the thing. There's so many really good artists right now doing comics, like technically so skilled, if they would just have more exciting layouts. But the thing about this one is he's hardly ever Spider-Man in it. There's hardly any action. And there's literally a stretch of 33 pages of just people talking.
Okay.
No joke. I went through and counted it.
So
I was
they're
like,
they're
what the hell?
they're shooting the comic on a TV budget.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's
look at
what
this.
no, that's what that is. That's what I call that, because
Yeah,
like all the shots that they use and all of the ideas that they're doing are things that when you try to translate them to film are going to be cheaper to shoot and produce.
yep,
Okay. If we hardly ever see him in costume and we hardly ever see him doing anything, then we don't need a bunch of VFX shots. Okay. We can do without that. So that cuts some of the budget. If he's just sitting around in one location, like having coffee and having a big conversation like that, well, okay, then that means we only have to have one set. Okay. We can limit the amount of sets we do. All these things cut costs. And the problem you see with comics now is a bunch of these things are freaking Netflix pitches where it's like, okay, look, these are my storyboards. This is going to be cheap for you to shoot. And this has got Marvel characters in it so that you'll be able to cash in on some of the Marvel appeal.
yeah.
And this is how these guys think.
Yeah, and they think
Yeah.
it's just like talking and dialogue is going to sell it. Too.
Right.
It's like, that's not comics, you know? Like,
Well,
here it is. So, this
It
is
is.
like...
It
Go ahead,
is.
yeah.
I mean, you can look. If you want to do a movie like that where you just want people sitting around talking, then you need to get somebody who's really good at doing movies where there's people sitting around talking. Where the fuck is Kevin Smith in all this?
Yeah, yeah,
They're just
yeah.
sitting there
Spidey the Sofa
talking.
said.
He's
Yep.
perfect for that.
Yeah. Let's get him and Quentin Tarantino in here writing. But yeah, someone's saying there's some pages that seem fun. There are some decent pages throughout the series. And the premise of it is really cool, but they're too few and far between. So like, this is the start of like the big long stretch. Like, Harry's here as Green Goblin talking to Peter. There was a couple shots where they found a guy, but they didn't really have a big exciting thing. They just kind of roped him up and interrogated him. But then it's just them talking here. And then we cut to this bar scene with Peter Parker and Mary Jane, and it's 9 pages per panel of just them talking in the bar. Then they meet up with Harry and his wife later, he's with Gwen. Harry's with Gwen in this, and then they're talking. Look, here's 2 more pages of them talking at the table. Another page of them talking at the table. Now here's Ben and Jonah Jameson talking. Then
So
back
these
to
aren't.
2
these
more
aren't-
9
these
page
aren't-
panels. 9-page
These aren't like
panels.
storyboards for like Friends or
I
Seinfeld.
know, exactly. Or like it's a drama, so it's like an episode of CSI or something. I don't know. Not
Yeah.
even that. They had more action than that. Here's more. Now they're in the bathroom talking. Like we're 20 pages into it now. Still going. I mean, this is more than one single issue. Here's more. Another 9-page panel. Another one. Nothing going on. Now they leave. Now they're walking on the street. Walking on. This is the most exciting thing in 25 pages. Is this worm's eye view of this building?
See,
Them
go ahead,
walking away.
go ahead and say it.
Now,
Yada
next
yada
issue.
yada.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada.
Next issue, more talking, more talking. Now, finally, some action. There's an explosion up there, but now another 2 pages of talking. Like, look at this. This could be the start of something really cool. You see this cool face here, this big explosion up here. It's like, oh, what is that? And then, no, let's go back to talking. Talking. Now they show Kingpin here, but it's still just Kingpin talking. Puts his robot on, still talking. Talking. I mean, my God. Now we're into so. I mean, that's also almost 2 entire issues where he never puts on the Spider-Man outfit. Aside from there not being any action, no one puts on any costumes. There's no action at all. God, and then there's like those 4 pages of action I just did, which weren't really all that impressive. And then we're back to talking in the bar again. 1, 2, another 3 pages. I mean, now we're back to Green Goblin, but he's just standing around talking to a guy in a chair. There's still nothing going on. It is insane. But I was like angry by the time I finished this, and I was so excited about it. I was like, fucking wasted my money on this shit, man.
Well, it feels like that everyone wants to make their books read like a big budget movie, and so they pace it out like a movie, and then they decompress the storytelling. So an entire first issue or 2 issues or 3 are just them talking. If you're in a movie, that's just the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's like, and I can't help but keep going back to when I was reviewing the issues I had of the Claremont's classic X-Men, just basically the Dark Phoenix saga. And I was constantly talking about how each one of these issues is only 17 pages long, but there's so much story in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for 17 pages, Claremont gave us so much. Now, I think there's room for all kinds of comics out there. Like there's room for everybody, but Jesus, that's, I think, like we were just saying, that's part of why some things are just not interesting anymore, is this approach of not enough is happening. People want to just try and wow us with how brilliant they are with their incredible dialogue. Like, can you have some fun and adventure and movement and excitement?
Yeah, I mean, that's comics, you know? Everything doesn't have to be a superhero, but come on, man. You gotta have some excitement. Yeah, so someone saying said they read Spawn, saw the news pages, and said, "Hold my beer," which is true. That's one thing that drives me nuts about all McFarlane stuff too. Which I love the art in pretty much all his books, but God, they are atrocious to read, and there is so much dialogue and text and everything, and it's not very good writing, so it's really boring on top of that. And aside from it being excessive, so. But don't watch this, Todd, in case you ever wanted to hire me in the future.
Yeah, we love you, Todd.
Yeah, I love you. Well, that's the thing. I am torn because I love Todd's art, and I love almost every artist that's working for him currently. Like even Brett Booth. Brett Booth was doing Gunslinger Spawn, and I got the first 2 trades from that, and it was kind of the same thing. I went through and I flipped through looking at the art, but before I even halfway through the first trade, I stopped reading it because it was just atrocious. I was bored out of my mind, and it was kind of ruining it for me. So I just look at the images and enjoy it.
I have those same first 2 trades, and I did the same thing. I'm just like, man, these are really, really nice pencils. Oh, the Delso Corona is like killing it on these inks, man.
Yeah.
But I didn't read anything. This is like, no, I'm not reading this.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything. It's too bad, man, because I think the Gunslinger Spawn design and idea are actually pretty neat. I was kind of excited, but yeah, it's...
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is all you had to say was you know, I was familiar with Brett Booth and the Delso Corona, like from back on Bloodshot, and I was like, oh my God, this guy really knows how to ink Brett. So
yeah.
You know, that's the thing, is, you know, I would be jealous and like want to ink Brett myself, except I enjoy the way Adelso Corona does it so much better than the way I would do it.
Yeah.
As a fan, I'm just like, no, let that guy do it. It'll look better.
Zero said, if you want to check out a hidden gem that has strong comics feel, in my opinion, check out Richard Corbin's Cage Run. It was quite fun. I have to see. So I'm unpopular opinion, but I've never been a fan of Richard Corbin's art. But people, I mean, I respect his skill and genius. It just doesn't appeal to me though. But I know people love his stuff, so it's probably worth reading. Alpha Channel said Youngblood #1 killed story in comics for 40 years. I mean, he kicked it off, but I wouldn't say it's all on him, because if you go back and read Cyberforce and Wildcats and all that stuff, it's
They're
all
bad.
yeah, it is so bad. I mean, it's unreadable. It's the same thing as the Gunslinger Spawn. I just have to stop reading it and look at the pictures, otherwise it kind of ruins it. And this pictures are still great. This characters, even the cheesy characters, are like really fun to look at. So,
And you know
same
what?
with Rob's stuff.
When I see all those guys' characters and stories, I'm like, the concepts I think are all kind of sound. Like there's something there.
Yeah.
You know, like no joke, that drawing you did of Youngblood, looking at those characters, it started sparking story ideas in my head. I'm like, if I could do Youngblood, that would be the cover. And I just started piecing together like a story I would do of these guys. And it was just based on the visuals you put down. Cause I'm like, just forget everything you know that's already been published and take the basic character traits that they're supposed to be and like just start over. And
Yeah.
there's something there. So it's just sometimes just the execution.
Yeah. I'm gonna toot my own horn here. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is the page.
I
So-
thought that looked amazing. I'm like,
Yeah.
all of these guys, like I want to do something with. That would be awesome.
I have to say though, let's see. Sorry, catch up with the chat too. Did you draw your avatar? Which are you talking to, one of us, or are you talking to someone else in the chat? Sorry. But yeah, I have to geek out for a bit though, because I was telling you I work with Chap Yep, and this is his character here, and so last week I showed him this. I
was like, did you show him? What did he say?
Yeah, I showed it to him, and I zoomed in on the Dutch drawing too. I was like, hey dude, so last week I was doing this, this Rob Liefeld sort of challenge to draw your 7 favorite Youngblood characters, and your guy made the cut, and he's like, dude, you draw them better than I do. I was like, what? No way, dude. He's like, yeah, this is freaking awesome, man. So I was like, okay, I was feeling pretty good that day. So,
Me go.
while pretending that I'm just like, oh, thanks, man. We're cool. We're co-workers, just mild excitement, but
I do the same thing. I'll be like, Jim Lee liked my comment.
Exactly. Because I mean, he's almost on the same level as like Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri, just because of the excitement I had of like following his work back in the 90s when he was doing stuff. Like all those guys were just so exciting to watch and dream, like,
Right.
Creating characters, doing comics, just like killing it.
Yeah, I was telling you when you told me that you worked with Chap, I'm like, does he know how he's regarded in comic circles from the fans, like the old fan? Like I think you were saying he's kind of just out of it and doesn't really pay attention to it much anymore.
I have to talk to him in more detail about it too. I do plan to I kind of want to on the side kind of ask him about that stuff a little bit, to maybe warm up to possibly see if he ever wanted to do an interview maybe next year sometime. But
oh my god, that would be amazing, dude.
Yeah, I'd be all over that.
Yeah.
But I want to see how excited he is about comics still too. Like he's not into comics, but I don't think he has any interest in ever working comics again, because it's too much work, and he's kind of he's grown up, he's older now, and he's been doing storyboard. He works at Blizzard with me, if anyone's curious. He's a story artist there, and he does a lot of work there, and he's great, but it's definitely, it pays more and is tons easier than comic books. So plus he's got his family now, so he wants to see his family, he wants to go home after work and have a normal life, so it's hard to
weird guy.
Yeah, it's a hard sell to go back to crappy paying comics that like consume your life. So
here's what we'll do. Here's where my fantasy world just went in my head. I'll sit here and make my stupid little parody comic, and then maybe we'll Kickstarter it, and maybe it'll make a lot of money. Yeah, that's the first fantasy. But then maybe we could hit him up and be like, could you do like a 3-page sequence, and we have Chuck Gibson could ink it, and just see if we could just get him back for like 2-3 pages. Just
he might do that.
Have a few dollars to throw at him. That's where,
dude, I would love to ink Chap's stuff. I think that'd be great.
That might be possible down the road, because I have kind of chatted with him a little bit, because, you know, I kind of hang out, you know, I'm in the previs department there, and it's like 3D animators and camera artists and stuff, but for some reason a lot of previs people don't do a lot of art, you know, like drawing and stuff. So I'm always going over and hanging out with the story artists, was just on the other side of the wall, and those guys are all really good. So I'm always hopping over there and chatting, and I've because there's a lot of guys that do storyboards and animation on like cheesy cartoons, like kids cartoons, and it's not really exciting for them. So a lot of the time they'll get together and do little anthology books doing their own art, where they do like just a few pages each and put together a whole book. And I was telling him, I was like, dude, we should do something like that with you guys here and the story artists and stuff. He's like, yeah, that'd be cool. You know, I was like, I'll round people up if you ever wanted to do it. I was like, you know, but he comments that it's like it's a lot of work too. He's like, I don't know if I could handle more than like 2-3 pages at the most. So, I'm like, dude, 2 or 3 pages would still be amazing. So
see, now you just do it like that image book. Like you get one of us to do layouts for the whole thing, like Eric Larson did, and then everybody does their character in that spot, like they did. With, what was that book, Rob?
Image United.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep, and that way, 25 years from now, we can still be trying to get it completed.
Yeah, and after it's all said and done, there'll be some like guy on YouTube like Rob shitting on it. You know?
These guys. Good point.
But yeah, Alpha Channel was saying I got to watch Rob draw a huge Shatterstar at a con with a Sharpie, God level. You're talking about Rob Norton, right?
Yeah, no, not me.
Rob Norton, really?
Who's that?
Wow.
How many cons do you go to, Rob? I know you go to like the one annually that you were trying to meet the deadline for recently, but do you go to other ones? Just kind of trying to pimp your book and
I've
stuff?
never traveled anywhere to go to any other one. It would be so expensive, and I wouldn't make any money, and I don't have the money to lose on traveling and a table and lodging, and you know what I mean. So I'm just like, I've never been anywhere. I was just so glad when they started one here locally. I'm like, this I can do.
Yeah. Is there not more than that con in Utah though? I figured Utah is pretty big. I figured there'd be a lot of them. You know, just not driving to like real driving.
Well, when they first started the one that they were doing here, the Salt Lake Comic-Con, the first year they did it, they had unbelievably unprecedented, unexpected attendance. Like 70,000 people showed up, and I don't think that the people who put it together, everyone underestimated the nerd culture in Utah. I didn't know it would be that huge. It was unbelievably huge. Yeah. So they, for a while, were doing 2 a year, and then there a couple, like a horror con will show up, and then like a video game con will show up, and you know, you could go to those. But as far as the comic convention one here locally, they've pared it down to just they do one now. And I think the pandemic kind of kiboshed the second one that they would do, but it's still pretty dang big. But that's the only one.
Salt Lake City's a major city. I figured that would have at least a couple here. But...
Yeah, well, like I said, before they started their first one, which was like 2015, 2014, maybe something like that, I think they just kind of threw it together, not expecting the size, and like I said, it blew up. Like they had like lines out the door, and they got in trouble for having too many people in a venue that they didn't have the size for. It was just, you know, so they've now planned accordingly. It's pretty huge. They get big name, you know, I've seen a bunch of professional comic book artists there, like Ed McGuinness and Dexter Vines were there. I've seen Peter David, Wills Portasio, Ryan Otley, Joe Rubenstein, the inker. Remember, Chuck? He was at that last one. Go sit down and talk to him. I'm like, he's busy. He's working. Yeah, so they get a pretty big audience. So
Yeah. Do you ever go and give those guys a copy of Master's End?
oh God, no, I, I don't know. Like, what do I do? Because the first book I did, it was done so long ago, so it's kind of embarrassing, you know.
Yeah. Just give them
So
the latest issue with Chuck stuff and just show them the stack of like, I mean, the sheer volume of work you did on it is impressive alone before you even see it, you know?
right,
See, I think the stuff from years ago, if anything, it shows an evolution in your style. It shows an
Yeah.
evolution in your competence level. You're learning as you go,
right.
but you still keep going. And I think that's what people in comics look like. Holy shit, this guy just like decided to like up and do all this stuff on his own volition. He's not getting paid a dime. He doesn't even own the characters. It's like,
Yeah.
but he's got a story to tell, and by God, he's gone with it, you know?
Yeah.
I think people admire that, especially
For sure.
especially when you're talking to people like you know, like, you'll notice the inkers don't tend to get a big ego because it comes crashing down to earth. You know, pencilers you might see some of that, but you don't usually see too many inkers that hold on to a big ego because it's just no, you know, if somebody comes up and calls you a tracer and you're like, you're like, oh shit, well, I'm just back to that, I guess.
Fucking Kevin Smith, god damn it.
Like, thank you so much, Kevin.
Yeah, god damn it.
Years and years later.
D-Man's here. What's up, D-Man? He was asking what we're talking about. Yeah, we're talking about cons and like people we've seen at con. I was asking Rob what cons he's been to outside of his annual one in Utah he goes to in Salt Lake City, and we're just kind of talking about that.
Now that I've got my channel up, I had one guy in Arizona. In fact, the guy who sent me the Bat Dong book, he coordinates conventions in Arizona. He's like, dude, come out here, I'll get you a table. And I was like, yeah, maybe one of these days. Now, not this year, but you know. So I've had some people reach out now that I've got sort of a presence.
Yeah, I hope, like, you know, like I said, comics wise, no one knows who I am yet, and I still have to actually finish something to show people. But if people end up liking this stuff and I can go to conventions, so my wife is a flight attendant, as I said, so I can fly anywhere for free. So I'm kind of like,
oh,
dude, if I could like, just have like a box of shit I could sell and go set up like an artist alley, and I could fly for free to all these different towns and like, you know, start selling shit at cons and just hanging out, you know, without having to spend all the money on plane tickets, which is usually the biggest expense. Because
heck yeah,
you know, you could just take a shuttle to the con from the airport, you know, and like, you know, either AAA or even I think through her work we get a little bit of discounts on hotels. Nothing major, but still you can get a cheap hotel anywhere. And
yeah, I just need a clean bed. I don't care about anything.
Pretty much. Same here. I mean, especially with convention stuff, you're at the con so much anyway. You just go home and pass out from exhaustion and then get up and go right back the next day. So,
Like
I'll be back in 2 seconds, guys. I got to turn off the heater, but keep going.
Like doing a road trip, you could just like pull over into a 7-Eleven or something and like crash in your car seat.
Oh yeah, I would totally do that. Like, honestly, yeah, if you were just doing like an overnight, I would just, you know, you could fly in early. Well, I guess I wouldn't have my car though. Yeah. But yeah, if you rented a car or something, you could just like fly in really early, get the car, do the convention all day, and then just like crash in the car, do the next day convention, and then fly home that night. Because I have to fly on standby, is the only drawback. But so standby, you could literally be like, okay, the con ended at 5. I'm just going to go down to the airport and catch the next flight out. Because it doesn't matter what airline either. So I can just open the app and be like, there's a Southwest flight going back to LAX. I can just jump on that in 2 hours on standby. If there's any spots open, you know,
sure.
On standby. So, but yeah, if anybody has a girlfriend or wife or boyfriend or husband that's thinking about having a flight attendant, tell them to do it because there's some great perks. The pay isn't great at start. After several years, you make good pay, but man, the perks are awesome. So.
Well, until your woman runs off with a pilot or something.
Dude, I'm joking about her with that all the time too, and like she showed me the other day when she got back, the pilot gave her his card and stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
I knew it was gonna happen.
There you go.
Yeah, unfortunately, the guy was like 70 or so. He was like. Yeah,
it's like the guys that like encourage their girlfriends and stuff to do OnlyFans. It's like, dude, you understand that they're like sitting there all day long with guys who make more money than you, throwing money at them, right?
Yeah.
Like literally auditioning for more suitable mates.
Yeah.
And being paid to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Oops. Yeah, pilots and flight attendants are total sluts too.
See,
I mean, some are, but you know, it's part of the lifestyle. You know, I think that's partly what attracts some people to it. But they, this isn't like official, but flight attendants and pilots all always stay at separate hotels.
Really?
Yeah, so they have the same hotels in each town that they sort of stay in, but they always keep flight attendants and pilots at different ones. And I was asking, I was like, well, why? Is it because they were all hooking up with each other and stuff? She's like, probably. You know?
You're like, wait, what? This is a thing?
It's definitely a thing. I mean, or you know, pilots probably have. I shouldn't be saying that. Really,
like,
but like my wife went with she was in Hawaii for a trip recently, and her and a couple of her other flight attendant coworkers. Oh no, they were down in Cancun, I think. Yeah, they're down in Cancun for like a 48-hour layover. So they had almost a full day to hang out. And the pilot took them all out for the day to do a bunch of stuff because he flies down there a lot. He's a married guy, but he has a Cancun girlfriend that lives there and that hung out with them the whole time. And they hosted for everyone to kind of go scuba diving and get dinner and drinks and stuff. So probably has a girlfriend in every city he flies to a lot, you know?
So you're saying I chose the wrong career path?
Well, you might get paid better though. The pay is pretty bad the first few years, so we've definitely had to cut some corners to accommodate. But it's worth it because she loves the job and she hated her old job. So, and you know, if she works there for like 10, 15 years, you can make some good money. So. But yeah, pilots though, they make like $200,000 for straight out once they finish pilot school. But pilot school is expensive too. So.
And you can't smoke weed.
Yeah, that's the drawback too. You can't do anything. My wife and I used to smoke a lot of weed, but she hasn't smoked in 2 years now since she started. I mean, if you have time off, but weed stays in your system so long that if you have like 4 or 5 days off, that's not long enough for it to be out of your system in case you do a drug.
What? The flight attendants can't smoke weed either?
No.
Damn. No
you
good.
Can't do any drugs they test. I mean, she's never been tested, but there is.
But they can whenever they want. Yeah,
exactly. Yep. Ooh, yeah. Is this page 3, Rob? This looks like a cover.
No, this is just the page 3.
Yeah, that'd be a great cover.
It
will be.
It's just the throwaway dorks from, to show up and be badasses. And that's why the next page, our heroes look, point their gun, and then the cable guy just immediately blows up the robot. It's done. He's out of the picture. Yeah. It's over. Because I did not want to be drawing this giant robot all the time. Plus, I need to move on. We got to get to the more important stuff. We got to get to the dick. So I had to have these guys show up, but they're going to be dispatched pretty quickly. So it just goes straight from that page to boom, guys blown up, girls going to be dispatched. They're going to fight this Wolverine ripoff guy for like half a second, and it's going to be gross. And then on to the dick journey.
Dick journey. Yeah, you missed it, Chuck. Before we went live, we were on our cameras though, and he got the Batman dam.
This right here.
Yeah. Which, that one's censored, or you can tell him, Rob. But yeah,
Do you know about the controversy in this book when it came out, Chuck?
Oh, I don't know anything about that. Why don't you tell me? The Bat Dick, yes.
Yeah, Bat Dong. Yeah, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, this particular version is censored, and we were just
Oh,
going on like, just show the thing. Like, dude, grow a set of balls, guys. Come on,
Yeah.
Batman's got him. Why can't you just show it? It was kind of unfortunate because that's the scene right there where it's all completely shadowed out. And so we Googled and looked up the original version, and we were
Yeah, we had
laughing
it.
like, wouldn't it be great if Chuck showed up right now and this is
Yeah,
what he
we had it
sees?
full screen and we were brightening it up so you could see the detail better. We were hoping you'd log in right then and that just fill your
like,
screen.
damn it, Rob! What is your fixation with the crotch?
I know.
Book that you
I was saying that. I'm like, people are going to be like, Rob, you got a problem or something, some kind of unresolved, kink that you're not
dude,
admitting to,
yeah,
right?
like,
we almost went live with it on my screen too.
It's the modern age, dude. You don't have to live in the closet like this.
I know, right? One of my viewers sent me this book. He's like, dude, I want to hear your commentary on this book, so I'm going to send it to you. I'm like, okay, thank you. That'd be great. And then it just arrived just before we went on. I opened it on screen, and of course, Lee Bermejo. Do you know, Chuck, much about his process? Did you ever?
No. See, by the time he showed up at Wildstorm, I was already back in Colorado, working with Jason. So, but yeah, so I never met Lee that I remember. If I met him, it's gone. I'm falling over dead. I've got memory loss going on all over the place. It's weird. You remember some stuff crystal clear, and then other stuff's like, I know I'm supposed to remember that. I used to know that, but not anymore.
But yeah, we were talking how the black and white original art that he does, we'd rather see this version of this book. Like, the colors in this are fantastic. There's no problem with the colors, but
yeah, look at that shit, Chuck. That is nuts.
Yeah.
But we were looking it up, and of course, there's a European oversized black and white version.
Of course
from
there
Italy.
is. Of course there is.
Yeah.
Naturally.
At least it's not French this time. It's Italian.
Oh, well, that's the other one that you would get,
Yeah.
Man, this cover is even some kind of like, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. It's some kind of like, it's not regular paper. It's some kind of, there's like a texture pattern to it.
You can see it. You can see the light reflecting off it.
Yeah,
can you see that? That's what I was trying to do. It's
like
there.
sort
I
of
like
rigid.
these. I like the idea of this very nice prestige format. It's something different. It's a little hard to store because it's so much bigger than a regular comic, but you can't exactly throw it in the long boxes, but it's a neat way to present this material. I'm kind of excited to read that thing.
Yeah. Hello, Chuck Lee joined us. What's with everyone seeing strange stuff flying in the sky lately? It's true. Everyone's seeing these giant drones, supposedly. Yeah,
I hope it's an alien invasion.
Yeah, I know.
Please be an alien invasion.
I didn't see any of those drones, but like I live in Silver Lake, which is just a little bit north of downtown LA. And on Thursday, they had the Game Awards for video games, and I didn't realize it was going on. But you could see just kind of over the hill, like pretty far away, but they had a drone show, and it basically lined up thousands of drones.
Yeah.
All basically, it's like they built a LED screen and we're showing like real video on it, like animated characters moving and stuff. It was nuts. I was like, what the hell? It's just floating in the sky.
Yeah, I've seen drone shows in place of fireworks shows, and I used to think like, no, that's not going to replace fireworks, but no, that's pretty impressive. Like, it's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, because now they can animate. Like, I went to a holiday party at an amusement park a couple weeks back for my work too, and they had a drone show at the beginning too, and it's like World of Warcraft stuff, and they had like a elf character, like kind of built in 3D, and they had it move and animate like walking, made with drones. It looked like this 3D walking character in the sky. It was nuts.
Wow.
Yeah. The stuff they can do with those things, it's impressive.
Yeah. I'm working on my orgy scene today, so I can only draw so much
Come on, we had a lot of dick talk. You got to draw it right.
Well, this guy in particular, you can see his pose here, and if I were to draw the part I can't draw, it's basically he's got these women around it, and he's basically gonna be like. This is a knife holster I'm drawing here on his belt. I'm just doing a draw through.
I cannot wait for this book.
Yeah, so that'll come up off stream, but
that's what she said.
Yeah,
it'll come up on stream.
Oh yeah, Google revealed quantum chips. That's gonna be cool. Make gaming crazy.
Isn't that on like one of your opening pages, or am I misremembering?
It's page 1, yes.
Yeah, it's page 1. You're like, I'm going to grab you from the opening scene.
Yeah,
like,
I mean that's kind of the point, because this is the climax of it. You know, the whole thing is. I'm
gonna grab you. It's the climax.
Yeah.
It just keeps going, man.
Yeah.
You don't have to sell.
I don't even have to
I'm
try.
already buying it, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it is like the guy in the foreground is the main character, and he's going after these thugs who are celebrating getting acquitted for basically killing his daughter and almost him. So he's going to get revenge and shows up at their drug-addled orgy in their compound here, and he's about to tear him up. But it starts with this full-page thing to show where we're going to end up, and then we go back and tell a little of the story and find how he got here. So
you could even have the opening text, like your character yelling, like something to the effect of like, you're all about to get fucked or something. You know, some play on words.
Yeah. And then there's a guy in the background that goes, that's what she said.
Yeah.
It's popping up behind the couch.
I had an idea once sort of like that I was telling a friend of mine, like, dude, like maybe that's the thing. Like maybe Frederick Wertham was right. Maybe Frederick Wertham was right, and Batman and Robin was like a gay thing, man. Maybe that's why the criminals are all running in fear, because Batman beats the shit out of you and rapes you in an alley before he takes you to the cops.
Oh wow. So
like, that's like a Mark Millar comic.
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's put a real dark spin on this shit. If we're writing for adults, let's see the scenes in between the scenes, you know?
Well, I mean,
but I thought
still within his code because he's not killing still.
Right, he's not killing, and also it would explain some things. Why is it when they see the shadow of the bat symbol, the criminals are immediately like shitting their pants, pissing themselves, tripping over each other to get away? They don't want to be the latest victim that goes down to the station with Batman, you know? I mean,
that's why they're scared of the dark.
Goes down to the station. Yes, that's right.
They have the little human figure, and they're like the little doll at the station. They're like, show us on the figure where Batman.
Oh, Michael Jackson.
Yeah. It's Batman! Run away! Run!
I don't know. Batman's pretty hot. Maybe it's not so bad.
See? You know, like, he's never really seemed really interested.
Yeah,
he's never
I want to
really
get busted by Batman. Sorry.
He's never really seemed super interested in women. He always seems sort of detached from the whole thing.
Yep. And
I was like, that all makes sense, dude. Like Batman's a bull queer, dude. Just like Shawshank Redemption. He's
yeah, the Riddler wants to get caught all the time for sure. I might want to get caught every once in a while. No, he's not my type. I like Clayface because he can turn into whoever I want. Boy or girl.
Yeah, Batman just mysteriously can never capture him. He just always gets away.
Yeah. Yeah, oops. And I just keep committing crime every time. I don't know why. What's the impulse?
Like, I'm going to take you into the station now, but if you say anything about any of this to Commissioner Gordon, I'm going to hear about it. I'm going to come back and find you again. I won't say anything, Batman.
There is like the origin of a lot of comic stuff is interesting how it can come from that. Like, you know, the whole origin of Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
The whole
I,
we
I'm
probably
not.
talked about this last time, but
I'm not super familiar with it, but I know it's kinky.
yeah, like it was a guy and his wife, and they were like kind of kinky and swingers and stuff, and like polyamorous,
Yeah.
and they were into all this kind of like bondage and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
And they ended up having another woman move in with them for a long time too, and they were all kind of like coming up with all these like bondage fetish stuff. Like if you look at all the
Wow.
early Wonder Woman stuff, they'll have like girls in a sorority being tied up, like kind of being hazed, but it's really kind of just a way to work in this bondage sort of
Yeah.
kink stuff. And I love it, man. I love that Wonder Woman's all based on bondage and kink. It's like,
And
Dude,
that's awesome.
what was the year on that stuff? Like that these guys were,
Oh God, yeah, like the 40s or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's bold.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I've got this book of like men's adventure art from the 1940s and 50s. Here, let me break this out. Men's adventure magazines, dude.
Oh, nice. That stuff's cool. That's like old Pulp
It's like
Fiction
the old
covers and
pulp,
stuff. Yeah,
the old pulp action kind of stuff.
that's great stuff. Oh man, that pose with that guy with the whip is awesome.
But it's all very sort of suggestive. There's
Yep.
a guy on DeviantArt that features stuff from Italy where they'll just have like full topless women going on the covers. Some of these
Wow.
paperbacks.
From back in that era.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
when are these from exactly.
And meanwhile, they're arresting people for publishing Playboy in America that shows boobs. You know? Back in those
Crazy.
days.
Yeah, see, like this is from 1950.
Wow. Like technically, it's such a good painting too. You know, like I'd love to see
Yeah.
the originals.
It's
for
beautiful
those.
art. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
It's not
That's
like
why I
this
bought
smutty,
it. Like
cheesy
all this
porn
stuff's
art, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Whiz bang.
That's got to be oil painting, right?
I think most
Oil
of these
or
are
gouache?
gouache.
Really?
I think most of
Good
these are gouache.
Lord.
I know in the early days, especially before digital, everyone used gouache because it printed a lot brighter in magazines. So you're probably right.
Oh.
Well, and you work with it similar to oil paint in terms of how you work with it, and it's real forgiving too. You know, it's yeah, like you can basically water it down and use this like watercolor for your base, and then you come back in opaque and do all your highlights and shading.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't gouache what Alex Ross uses?
I believe so.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
There's a learning curve,
with
but
multimedia really well too. Yeah.
yeah, there's a learning curve, but you can get some really cool stuff with it.
Push it back over to Rob here. Go, Rob.
Oh, I'm just kind of doing the same thing here. Just,
Oh,
I
yeah, it's
wasn't,
also water-based, so it's safer. Someone say, yes.
I wasn't particularly thrilled with this page when I first started, but now this kind of come together. I'm kind of like, all right, I starting to. All right, I think it's.
Yeah, it's great. I like that up angle on that dude with the gun on the top panel too, like getting ready to
Yeah.
shoot him. That's awesome. I like his face.
Yeah.
Dude, I was gonna say, like, I'm like inking the new stuff, and I'm going, man, he is stepping up his game. Sick with it.
For sure. I'm noticing his like, yeah, he's definitely leveled up.
Your progression over the last year has been amazing.
Well, that's you, so I can't embarrass myself too much. So.
Well, look, I'm not talking about what the finished product looks like. I'm talking about the pencils that are coming across my screen.
No, but what I mean is, it's your presence and what you do pushing me. Like, I better not send him garbage. I better do the best I can do. I better be able to say, like, even if it sucks, it's the best I could do. And so
right.
It made me stop and kind of try to make these things a little bit more clear. And I hope it's working. You know what I mean? I think it is, as long as you're not dying inside when you see it. You're like, oh
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And Jason's the first guy that'll tell you, like, man, if I get a piece of shit coming across my table, I'm not afraid to say it's a piece of shit.
Oh yeah. Because there were
Oh
some
yeah.
pieces of shit coming across when I was there. We heard about it.
And I want to know. I can't grow unless somebody will point out something that is really terrible. And so
I just see you really trying and pulling out all the stops to get. That's what I see is you're hungry to get better. You're hungry to do your best work, and you're hungry to put together a good product.
There's a benefit, like whatever level of skill you are too, just working amongst people that are good too, that just helps you get better, just like through osmosis or something, when you're surrounded by people that are.
Well, I mean, yeah, knowing Chuck and now knowing you, Jason, and then some of the friends on the YouTube channels that, some of the guys that are in there, they're all really talented. And you got people looking and watching, and like my YouTube channel's the first creative thing I've ever done that's ever been successful. And then connecting with Chuck and making the stuff that we have been, it's like there's like an opportunity for something here. And so I'm like, jump on it, go for it. Like let's make something awesome. And so it's all inspiring and validating, and so thank you everybody for
well, the source material too, I think, is influencing you a bit in a positive way too, which I like.
True. It's true.
Matt Logic got here 4 minutes ago, and he said, "Evening, gentlemen, new here. Not sure what I walked in on." I'm telling you how long ago it was, because now you know when he walked in. The tail end of the Batman discussion, I think.
Like, what did I just?
What?
Sorry, wrong room.
Yeah.
Or it's the right room, like it's
he's still here.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know, we're not sure what I walked in on, but I'm here for it. So there we go. Now we know who Matt is right from the start.
Well, see, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not like opening the wrong bedroom door at a Diddy party or anything.
Yeah, true. Yeah, at least this stuff's legal and consensual. Because, it's consensual because the criminals want to be caught. So
That's right.
He said right room, yeah. Let's see.
But thank you, Chuck. I appreciate you saying that. That it makes me feel better about myself. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, dude, I'm absolutely, I'm going to call it like I see it, Again, Jason will tell you that too. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to stroke you if you don't have it coming. Like, okay, he's doing something over there, I'll recognize it, But if you're not just doing anything, I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
The more I keep working with these characters, I mean, I've only a couple pages in, but the more I keep figuring out the story, I keep going and then I keep coming up with future issue ideas. Like, well, then we could do this, and then we could go here. We could introduce these guys, and this really fucked up thing could happen. And I'm like, oh God, there goes my brain. It just starts going.
Rob, you got to channel that energy on something that you actually own.
I know.
Like, stop doing free shit for other people.
At some point. This is
let's make some money,
It's a parody thing. You can kind of get away with it. But your point is completely correct. Yeah, I completely agree.
No, I think you're a talented and creative sort of person, but you got to find your vehicle,
Right.
So I didn't realize I was muted. Yeah, Rob, speaking of which, so with this story, is it going to be all kind of parodies of the characters, or are you going to kind of wipe them out and bring in some of your own characters early on?
I hadn't really thought about that. It was just originally just like, I'm just going to do this one thing, but then I keep thinking of other parody versions of other characters, and not necessarily just in the Liefeld world, just anything, just to have these two go along and get into some over the top bullshit adventures. It's just, again, this is how I've always been all my life. And I just assume every comic person is the same way, where you just have ideas all the time. And your brain, once you get on a thing, you just start going like, oh, we could do this, you could do this, you could do this. And
yeah.
I just kind of assume everyone's that way, but I don't know. So I just start thinking of ideas, but it was more just to have fun with like parody adventures and like, oh, here's this character. I know who that character is. Look how horribly they died or something like that. Or I don't know.
You got to do the Rob Liefeld thing where you're like, no, that's not Lobo. That's Blood Wolf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do have that character. That's that I do have that guy. Where the hell did I just put all those pages? God damn it. I can't keep anything in hand.
Thanks, Chuck, by the way. Not you, Chuck. Chuck Lee in the chat.
Oh.
You're saying love
Not
your
Chuck, the other Chuck.
Yeah. Let's
But
get
yeah,
a bunch more Robs and Chucks in here.
Yeah, I got the Red Coyote character. That's the Lobo
yeah, that's
character.
right.
But
Yeah.
Red Coyote is a parody of Blood Wolf, who is a parody of Lobo. So it's like distilled down 3 times, and like
that red.
it's,
Oh no, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, it's just the character's nothing like the others. I kind of make him my own, but he's just inserted into that moment in the parody mockery of it. But then he's going to be his own thing. But
Yeah.
you know,
If I did a pinup for your book, I want to draw him, I think.
hell yeah.
So what's that he's holding below him on the right there? Is that a boob?
Yeah, this is a girl.
I know,
That's
I'm
her-
just kidding.
That's her body.
It's my excuse to zoom in on it, yeah. Canceled! They just shut our stream off. No,
Yeah, it's done. It's over.
yeah.
So
I just had I also, right around the time that guy Matt walked in too, at the same time we were talking about the Batman stuff, I have my window open in here, and a guy just came and delivered a package too, so he probably heard me talking, the Amazon guy. I wonder what he heard, because he drops it off and he's sitting there for a sec doing his little handheld computer to like mark it as delivered and stuff, so he was probably out there for like a minute listening to me talk through the window. I wonder what he heard.
like he goes home to his wife tonight. God damn, I was delivered a package and these guys were on a live stream talking about Batman's dick.
Yeah, well, like he might not even know I'm on a live stream. He just hears me solo talking about weird Batman sexual stuff.
There's a guy having a mental health episode today in one of the houses I delivered to.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, honey, I went to this house and I was wondering if I should call the authorities. I didn't, but I'm conflicted now. Like,
should I?
made the right decision? Yeah, should I have done something?
Like maybe somebody should do a welfare check. You know?
Yeah, a wellness check. There's
that's
a problem. But yeah, Chuck, I like those inks you were sending me. The in progress. I'm like, oh, that's looking good. You're saying you were giving me the Stephen Platt treatment. Is that what you?
I was trying to give you a little of that old school Stephen Platt crosshatch kind of.
Hell yeah.
Stuff in places.
Any chance you'd want to show us, or you want to wait to reveal any of that stuff? I kind of want to see that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you can't do my digital screen.
Oh, that's right. You're doing
full
that
screen.
digital.
I could pull it up on my other device and just
Yeah, you could always do that. You know, I mean,
yeah, that's fine. I forgot. I didn't know if you were inking them all digigital or if you were printing them out, and because I know some of the last issue you did.
Yeah, some of them I did, and I might do some panels, but like the stuff that he's talking about is it's too big to print out.
Yeah.
It's like taking up the whole half a page, but it's vertical half the page, so I can't print that out letter size. I don't have a big enough printer for it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just about got it here. If you want to kick it
Jeffrey?
over to me.
Yeah, let's see. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, you filled in the ninja dude too. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't even know if I don't think I'd even seen. Now that I look at it, I just saved it. Wasn't even paying attention. I didn't even notice. I think that you'd finished that part of it. So
yeah, I think you posted on your story or something the other day, and it had the background guy probably about 2/3 where he's at now, and the foreground you sort of had the black areas blocked out in blue. Still, but yeah.
Yeah, I take the lasso fill tool and go in and grab all those blacks on a different layer.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of time that way I can manipulate the opacity of it and keep it out of the way when I'm inking other stuff. I've got like a weird system. Everybody gets their own layer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, God, I heard it. I sent the like on all of these, so I just, God damn, that looks like I wasn't sure
Oh,
about
that's
the
cool.
design of this guy. This is the Bloodstrike / Deadpool analog guy, and it's just a basic black ninja outfit. But God damn, does that like I get excited looking at that? I'm like, that looks awesome to me.
See,
I'm not trying to kiss my own ass, but I'm like, that looks awesome.
now I got the same way. I was like looking at it, and I got the total image feels from the '90s. I was like, oh, that's gonna be some shit there.
So yeah. Then there was a close up of when you were working on the guy's head.
Oh, sweet. Oh, that looks cool. I like
Yeah.
that line work over his like kind of ripply forehead stuff. That looks cool. That almost it's like a straight line sort of zip over it. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a tone layer.
Yeah, because
That's
again, this is
awesome.
the cable guy, but but instead of having like a scar over an eye, the scars are over his entire forehead and his head. Like it's just all scarred. I imagine some monster just raked his claws over his skull, and that's why it looks like that. So he's just got the center mohawk hairline.
Everything that you see there is inked with the Jimmy Reyes crow quill from his inking set, from his
Nice.
inker's set. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. I love it. I'm using Jimmy's pencil set right now for just this roughing out stuff. I love it.
Great pencils too.
Yeah.
I thought.
Chuck said that the stuff you were showing looks like Mike Zeck's work. That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, I wish.
Praise.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Someone, was it here or someone else's chat? Someone was asking if, like, when you're compared to other artists, if it's like annoying or offensive or anything. Which I've never felt that way. Do you guys ever feel like it's annoying or offensive? I always take it as praise. Like, hell
depends
yeah,
on who it is,
compared
right?
to him. Well, yeah, I guess so. But if it's someone I like, and I'm like, if I'm good enough that they're seeing them and my stuff, that's actually
well, look,
that's awesome.
I always look at it like this. If it's somebody whose artwork that you don't care for and you're compared to them that way, then you just kind of raise an eyebrow at them and go, I'm not sure I see that in my work. Maybe you're seeing something that I'm not,
Yeah.
You try to be polite about it, but you kind of take it for what it is. People are always ready to smack you. And you got to be ready for it,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even if it's someone I don't like, I mean, unless they're doing it as a way to like be an asshole. But if it's just like someone I don't like, but they thought it looked someone they like and thought you looked like it, I'm still gonna
it could be a compliment from the other person. Might like the person and you don't, but it's still a compliment from them.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I'll just secretly change.
Yeah, that's what you really got to look at is the the way they're presenting it, the way they come off. If they seem really enthusiastic about the artist that they're comparing you to, well, then obviously they're trying to compliment you. Yeah. Now, whether or not you agree with that assessment or not is another thing, but they're trying to be nice.
Yeah. The conversation that I read it from, actually, I think it was a Reddit thing now, which makes sense. People are weird on there, but they were like, they didn't like being compared to any artist because they just wanted to be their own individual. I'm like, well, that's kind of a dumb way to look at it, but
that's nice. But you don't get to control that.
Yeah.
Like it's fine if you want to think of it that way. You can't control that I think of it that way,
Yeah. And I don't think there's any reason to be offended by it either, So
no.
Everybody learns from someone else, so there's always going to be some influence. I think influence is cool to see and share, as long as you're not just completely aping it,
Well, look, I mean, I hated Steve Ditko's work for so long, and it was like one day I just sort of snapped, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And I saw it helped that John Byrne did a series where he kind of showed you where he was influenced by Ditko. That Spider-Man Chapter 1 that he did is just like a 12-issue love letter to Ditko that Byrne did. And you can kind of see it in his stuff, and it kind of went from there. But now I look at it, I'm like, Holy crap! This guy's it's like a drawing instruction booklet when you look at Ditko's stuff now.
Yeah. Jeffrey said, "Have you ever seen pressed letter set for texture?" I'm not sure.
Are you talking about the old stuff? The old stuff printed on sheets. They used to Zipatone. They would.
Yeah. I wonder if that's what he's referring to.
Yeah. Except it was. I used to call it Instatex because it would rub off. You didn't have to cut it out like Zipatone. You just put the sheet over the top of it and rubbed on it, and the dots would come off the sheet and onto your paper.
Yeah. Speaking of which, it's hard to get in the U.S. anymore, but there's actually a specific store in Japan where you can get tons of it for really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious if I'm going to get some for me, but I'm actually because I'm going to go probably early next year. I want to go. And I specifically am going to that store. I'm wondering if you guys are interested and if you want me to get you any of it to play with.
I might use a little bit of it, but it wouldn't be a whole lot and I wouldn't know what to tell you to get because I'm sure they're going to have.
Yeah.
They're not gonna have a varieties like the old Letra set stuff that we had here in the States. They're gonna have all different stuff, and I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, it's crazy the variety of styles of tone paper you can get there that I've seen people get. It's pretty nuts.
Because they still use that very consistently in Japan, right?
Yeah. So many mangas use it pretty regularly. So.
Yeah.
And that's mostly what it's a shop for. It's like manga art tools. Yeah, Jeffrey said zipper tone. It's actually zip-a-tone or half-tone sheets. Yeah. I like zipper tone though. Like a zipper on your jeans. Oh, Jeff, you said you have his artist edition of X-Men. Which one? Are you talking about Mike Zeck's edition?
Is there one of?
That's what I'm wondering. If there is, that's very exciting.
Not that I like.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. Unless maybe he's talking about the cover one, which might have a.
I thought he was maybe talking about Jim Lee's work.
Oh, he might have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might have been. Oh yeah, Jim Lee used Zipatone, and then he said I was. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that chat. So. You are correct. By the way, did you see? Are you in the Inkwell group, Chuck, on Facebook?
No.
He doesn't do Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Not really.
There's an Inkwell group. It's run by the people that do the Inkwell Awards, which is like the Inkers thing. I think it's at Comic-Con they do every year, San Diego.
Oh yeah.
But it's all like really good classic. The guys from like the 60s and 70s, the old classic Inkers, and they'll do like fundraisers once a year where they'll have someone put up a penciled piece and then they'll have all the inkers in there do their version of inking over it and they'll kind of sell those for charity.
Cool.
And stuff.
That's awesome.
But yeah, and it's not just like newer guys we don't know. It's like all these like classic inkers that are like doing real good stuff. And I just saw the other day, like I missed it, but it was a couple years ago they had someone do it over Savage Dragon, which would have been really fun. But this most recent one, they've been doing one over a pinup of the Hulk drawn by, I think it was, what's the guy's name? One of the original Hulk artists from way back in the day. What's that guy's name?
Kirby? Ditko?
No, not Kirby or Ditko. But he did a really long run on the Hulk.
Sal Buscema?
No, before Sal Buscema.
Herb Trimpe.
It might be Herb Trimpe. Yeah, Herb Trimpe. Yes, that's who I'm trying to think of. It was a Herb Trimpe Hulk piece.
Listen to me showing off my nerd stuff
Yeah,
there, man. I'm just like rattling it off.
Well, that's why I brought it up, because I thought you might know what I'm talking about, too, so.
Yeah, I've been messing with this way too long. Every once in a while, too, I'll like kind of hang my head in shame. Like I had some kid on Instagram troll me, like, "Are you like a 60-year-old man that draws manga?" And I'm like,
oh, God.
Fuck, you nailed me, you little shit. Kind
What are you
of.
doing, you little shit? But yeah, so what? I'm still working on stuff.
Yeah, and I didn't know it was a kid at the time, but I responded back like, "Yeah, I do it professionally. I draw them for stupid kids like yours."
Boom, roasted.
Yeah. I don't think the Herb Trimpe thing is all that nerdy though either. I mean, it's just part of because I knew who he was. I was just having a brain fart on the name. But I definitely am familiar with his work too. I'm not like he's such a classic and an important part of comics, but his style always was kind of weird to me. I didn't like it a whole lot. But he's definitely an important figure in the history of comics, man. He did so much.
I really liked Herb Trimpe's stuff. I especially appreciated the stuff that John Severin inked. Like they did a run together during the Hulk stuff that I just bought the essential of. As a matter of fact, that they were Herb Trimpe and John Severin. I love that stuff so much. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Severin.
I'm somewhat, but I don't. I haven't seen a ton of it. That might be worth checking out, though.
He did a bunch of war stuff for DC that's really noteworthy, and
man, old war stuff is such a hidden, like, unknown gem with just amazing artists doing old war comics. You know,
it's weird, man. I like all the stuff that I hated when I was a kid. I love it now.
Yeah. Well, like that one that you told me about that I got. What's it called? The old war one, the hardcover one we got. Not the plane fighting one.
Oh, the that Warren Magazines one.
Yeah. What's that called?
Battle Action, I think it was.
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, wait, let me look over here, and it's over here.
Yes, I was looking.
Blazing Combat.
That's it. Yeah.
Blazing Combat. You know, since Rob's here anyway, I was going to show him because he did like a review on his channel. He was like talking about like Gene Colan doing Wolverine, and he was showing like stuff from the Essentials. It's like one of Gene Colan's last jobs, and it's Colan inking himself, and it wasn't working and everything else. And I told him like dude, you caught Colan way after his prime there. You know, like you know, like this guy's ready for the pasture pretty much. And see, here's some John Severin stuff right here.
Yeah.
That's John Severin.
That stuff was freaking. Look at those faces, man. That's so good. I mean,
he did a lot of stuff.
The backgrounds, but man,
he did a lot of the Mad Magazine like movie spoofs.
I was going to say one of those looked like a Mad Magazine kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would do like the, you know, they would like do a spoof of Star Wars or whatever. He would be the guy because he could nail all the resemblances. He could do all the likenesses. Him and Mort Drucker, but anyway, here let me get Gene Colan. This is what you want to look at when you're looking at some Gene Colan.
I'm gonna have to pull that out again tonight and look at that book. I haven't looked at it in like a month.
Wow.
Now the washes are
washes,
Yeah, those washes are a little dark on camera from what I can see here, darker than they are in the book. But just as beautiful. I mean, the guy draws like a painter.
Yeah, they do look a little dark, but yeah, I have the book too, you know, so I'll attest that they aren't too dark in person. They're beautiful.
Wow. But yeah, nice subtle washes. Now we're going to George Evans, which this whole book, I highly recommend this hardcover Blazing Combat from Fantagraphics Books. It
feels like a library book with that the type of hardcover it is and the binding. It's kind of funny texture.
Dude, any stuff that they like the omnibuses and stuff like that they keep finding. I keep finding these omnibuses on eBay that they're moving out, and they've knocked the price down to like $30. And
wow!
I'm just gonna buy these, man. I don't care what it is. I got one on the way that's The Invaders by Frank Robbins, which I was never particularly a fan of when I was a kid, but now I look at it, I'm like, that's great, and it's all in one book. Hell yeah, I'll grab that for $30. But
I crazy? Was there a artist edition of Michael Golden's like GI Combat stuff that came out? Do you know?
I don't know.
Or was it GI Combat? What's the Vietnam War comics that Michael?
Oh, the Nam. Yeah, there's
the Nam.
There's the Marvel Stories Michael Golden artist edition, and it has some selected pages from the Nam. It's got pages in there from Avengers Annuals 10 and his Marvel Fanfare stuff, just like kind of a review of all the spots they could find of his work. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to sign off here, guys. People are like waiting on me to go get dinner, and I'm like, promise them
cool.
I'll
It's
like
been
be an hour or so. So
yeah, it's been a while. I think it might be a good time to wrap up for all of us. I'm gonna grab some
I
dinner
gotta
too.
maybe take my kids to go see some Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Gotta do the seasonal thing. So
Let's go through everything here real quick. That's man, you got pretty far on that check. That's freaking awesome piece.
yeah,
I'm glad you decided to do that one. When I saw you pull that out, I was like, oh dude, that Juggernaut's awesome.
yeah, do a Juggernaut. Yeah, I was sitting there just staring at the lines on that arm. I'm like, God damn, that's great.
And then we got Rob's page 3.
4.
Pretty far on that, or page 4.
Yeah.
And so you're like, God, almost done with that too. So
yeah, it's basically, this is about as far as I take it before I go to light boxing it. I just figure it out there. And
all you had was the little dude's head and like bubble body at the bottom when you started. So
yeah.
A lot done.
Yeah, it's crazy how much you get done when you're just like sitting around chatting with people and not really thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I actually did get quite a bit of this done.
Just kind of mindlessly just doing it. Yeah.
It reminds me of high school art class a little bit. You're sort of working on your own work and you're chit-chatting while you're doing it and stuff like that. It reminds me
that's kind of what's fun. I kind of would dream of having a studio someday or again, kind of like you and I used to hang out, Chuck.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
working all day, you know.
I'm looking at what you got those figures doing in the background there.
Yeah.
Like the guy to the left with like the girl up top and then the girl down below.
Yeah.
Yes. Like,
yeah. So this is one of the thug guys here, and this is a woman, of course, and the woman's down here. Just she's buckling his pants for him. That's what's going on.
Naturally.
Yeah. And then this guy's got a woman hugging him from behind, but he's also got this little twink boy in front of him. So he's versatile.
So they're at a tailor's shop and they're all being measured for suits. Is that?
Yeah, she's measuring his his crosshair to get a nice seam in there. Yeah, the inseam.
Measuring the inseam. Yeah.
This guy just finished getting measured, so he's just chilling, and the girls are helping him put the outfit on. So
yeah. There's some remaining measurement there in a puddle on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be a little plate down here that has some chalk powder on it, that's so their hands don't get sticky while they're sewing.
You wouldn't want to first. You wouldn't want to chafe.
Yeah. And there'll be some pills which are just like multivitamins and stuff.
Like plates of cornstarch laying around.
Yeah, exactly. And then this was my first page finished from it. So, but first page down, first hurdle's done. I'm off to the races now. That's more than I've done in years for comics. So
this was fun, man. We'll have to do this again next week.
Absolutely.
Sure. All right, guys. Well, thanks everyone that came to the chat too. What were you gonna say, Chuck?
Oh, I was just gonna say this. That'd be great. Yeah, but I gotta go. So.
Yep. All right. I'll see y'all later.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.